All right. We are on air. We are on air. How's everybody doing here on YouTube? Much love to
How you
y'all.
doing, man?
Thank you for popping on here, y'all. Thank you for popping on. You know, I thank everybody in the chat room for being here, and make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. And we got man, we got a special treat today. You know what I'm saying? Some real stuff going on today, and we got I know y'all heard of Lexit, you know what I'm saying, but we got Lexit over here. These are the co-founders of Lexit right here, you know, and we just about to light it up, you know, and we just about to, man, say what we need to say and say what we got to say, and let the listeners listen. So, all right, I'm about to introduce Lexit. Here y'all go. Introduce yourself.
How's everybody doing? It's Jesse from Lexit.
And my name's Eddie. I'm also one of the co-founders of hashtag Lexit. And one of our other co-founders is not on with us right now. But if he does jump on, his name is David. And yeah, hopefully he'll catch on later. But if not, we were just glad to be here.
All right, all right.
Thanks, Mo.
Hey, anytime. Just glad to have y'all here. You know, I'm gonna read this to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And like, well, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this movement, the way this movement is going, and I'm so impressed. And I'm reading this. Lexit is a grassroots to help Latinos exit the liberal left and embrace conservatism and the conservative values. Lexit is focused on building an outreach effort in the communities across America to share our story and provide focused messaging to the Latino community. Welcome all non-Latinos, conservative allies to stand with us. To stand with us. We Lexit. Lexit, you know, and hey, let us know about the Lexit movement. I mean, you could say it better than y'all can say it better than I can. Go ahead and say it. Let us know.
Well, one of the powerful things is why I think the Lexit movement is really taking off is because Latinos, by the way we're raised, we're actually very conservative. Like we have very strong family values, but for whatever reason, there's a disconnect between how Latinos are voting and how they're raised, their core values. So what Lexit is really about is really kind of giving more information to the Latinos that have probably been what we think is they've been indoctrinated. So if we can get them the information that shows that actually their values are more in line with conservatism, then we believe that can help them to exit the left and embrace conservatism.
Yeah, because a lot of Latinos, they grow up just their family members telling them that they're Democrats, and they don't even, like me. I know that was the case with me. I didn't even really know too much. I just knew that they said that Latinos are for Democrats and that they're for the poor, and the Republicans are like white and they're for the rich. So a lot of Latinos grow up like that, hearing that, and then the media has a lot to do with it. They're manipulating, and then like a lot of people don't know is the Spanish channels can be just as bad as CNN. So the people they're watching the Spanish channel, and it's totally all biased. And so that's what, like how Eddie said, they're getting indoctrinated. And so we're just trying to wake them up, and we feel that who better to reach the Latinos than fellow Latinos.
Right. You know, you got to go where you're called. And I always say this, like what I do a lot. You know, I speak more about prison reform. You know what I'm saying? I'm more for the hood, and I do go toward the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Former gang members. You know that's from the same game, opposite the gang, and only we can reach where we came from. You know, I mean, think about it. If you came from that, environment, wherever you came from, you can reach. It's like what you call that? It's like you got an ex-prostitute that can reach a prostitute. You got you got a drug that can reach a drug. You got an ex-heroin addict that can reach a heroin addict. If y'all feel me?
Exactly what you're saying is because I grew up in that lifestyle, and then as Eddie knows, I started going into juvenile halls and trying to help ex-gang because I used to grow up in that lifestyle, and like you said, who better to reach them than other people from that lifestyle, That's how it was open to me. When I would go in there, the kids would be open up to me because they knew that they could relate to me. It's the same way with us, like the same way what we're trying to do.
And I support this movement. You know, even though I'm not Latino, I'm Lexit. I'm with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll join y'all. And I'm black. I'm joining y'all. You know, it ain't about color, but I grew up in a Latino community too. I grew up around at Humboldt Park, Chicago. I've been around these Latin King Spanish Cobras, and I've been around Hispanic. Matter of fact, most of my friends growing up was Hispanics. You know, when I was locked up back in the days, you know, I had a lot. So I understand the community, you know, and so I stand with y'all.
Well, thank you, Mo. And that's one of the things that we stress a lot, that like to join the Lexit Latino exit community, you don't have to be Latino. We welcome white, black, Asian, whatever. Everybody's welcome to stand with us as we Lexit, because we believe that part of the power of the Lexit movement is that everybody's sharing the message so we can amplify it. And part of what we're trying to do is share our stories, but also the fact that we think it's very powerful, like what Jesse has said, is Latinos talking to Latinos, because that's going to be more effective, because there's kind of already that trust there that we can say, where they're probably not going to listen to someone else coming into their neighborhood trying to talk to them as to, hey, you know, why you shouldn't be supporting the Democrats. You know, it's easier for us to, like, we have more authenticity in our message, for one. For two, we know where they're coming from. For three, you know, we're raised in the same neighborhoods. So I think those are powerful to being able to reach out for them. So that's what hashtag Lexit is focused on. We're going to build a grassroots movement throughout America, but our message is going to be tailored to the Latino community to help wake them up and see that their values are more in line with the conservatives.
I love this. I love this. Man, I'm all pumped up, yo. It's like wow, you know, we got different type of, this movement that we have different type of platforms, you know, and this is a platform that I'm just like Tiny Mercado. She introduced me to Lexit. She, you know, I started following y'all, and, you know, baby love, the Puerto Rican girl right here. She let it go, man. Hey, yo, we got the whole.
Hey,
Lexit.
David.
Sorry, I'm a truck driver. Sorry, I'm late.
That's the whole crew, Mo.
Latinos are just like black people on color people time, CPT.
But we're gonna eventually show up.
Got the whole Lexit mob on.
What's going on, brother?
Well, thank you for jumping in, David. So just introduce yourself real quick, David, if you can.
Go ahead, bro.
We're live, right? So I'm David Basulto, one of the co-founders of Lexit, also the page owner for the Hispanic Conservative page. I met up with Eddie and Jesse, you know, a little while back, and they brought up the idea of Lexit, and it sounded like a great idea. I really think that we really need to reach out to the Latino community and do as much as we can to give them all the right information, because for so long the media has been misinforming them, and then of course, you know, they've been indoctrinated and they don't even realize it until, you know, it's too late. I was able to break free of that myself, and now I just want to be like a big loudspeaker towards waking up, you know, and just educating everybody on, you know, on what the truth is. You know, that's what's really important to me.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
I just want to give a little quick shout out to the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, because we recently got together, hooked up with them. So I just want to give a shout out to them. Yeah,
shout out. Hey, I want that hat too. I want that hat.
David got one too.
I want that. Look, I'm joining Lexit. Y'all hear me? I'm joining.
Yeah, we'll get you a hat if you promise to wear it on the show.
There it is.
I have mine in the back.
There you go, Lexit. You know,
Lexit.
Mine's got it on the front and the back, so because I usually wear mine backwards.
So, that might sound like controversial. So, I mean, you got Lexit, and you got Blexit, and you know what? I'm glad this happened. I love Lexit. I love the way Blexit is doing, but you know what I'm saying. But it's great to expand it. It's great to expand it. You know, we get to different cultures. You know, and I can relate to this because like I said, I grew up on the north side of Chicago. I did not grow up in an all-black neighborhood. I grew up gang-banging hard with mixed gangs. So I totally understand that. I totally understand when it comes to being around in the going against the oppressors. You know, like I always say, the oppressors are not the white man. The oppressors are the people that are that are oppressing, are the ones who was doing the crime out there. You know, and it's up to us to reach out to them, to you know,
exactly,
to plant the seed to these oppressors. Because as once in my lifetime, you know what I'm saying, a lot of y'all been there. I have been in the oppressor before. I was the one, you know, robbing people back in the days. You know, I'm in my 40s now, but I used to rob people. I stick people up in Chicago. I gangbang hard. I see with the wrong color, you know, but God have changed my life around, and I have made a transition. But even though I made a transition, I'm gonna still always have this thug mentality, because that would never leave. But you take that thug mentality and use it in a different way. Take it away, y'all.
So that's exactly it. And so that's why like the Lexit movement is so effective, is because we know what's going on within the inner city community. I myself grew up in a Hispanic and Black neighborhood. So if you're familiar with Houston, I grew up in Fifth Ward, Texas.
Okay.
It's just one of the roughest areas of Houston, if you know. Like so like that's where I grew up. That's where my home is from. But part of it is like what I realized, and that's why I had my Lexit experience, is when I realized that, look at the communities that we grew up in. They're controlled by the Democrats. And in my entire lifetime, I haven't seen any improvement in my inner city communities at all. It's been the same. And so I realized that part of the what the Democratic Party does is they make you dependent on them. And so that's what they do in these inner city communities. They make them dependent on the government so that they can never become independent. And so when you realize that, you start to unravel like what's really going on with the Democratic Party, and to why they're not able to deliver. So that's why, you know, my red pill experience was just realizing that and seeing the progress that Donald Trump is having, both in the Hispanic community, the African American community. All communities have improved under his administration. And so that's the difference between Democrats and Republicans, or between liberals and conservatives, is because conservatives are about making you independent. Conservatives are about giving you the freedom and the opportunity to succeed. And liberals, on the other hand, they're dependent on keeping you dependent on them. And that's why you're not able to be free. And that's why, if you want to be free and you want to have opportunity, the way to go is conservatism. And so that was my red pill experience. Once I realized that, to me, it was profound. And that's why I have my Lexit experience. And so since I had my experience, I feel like it's my obligation and duty to kind of undo what I did when I was a Democrat and help people come out of that dependency. And so it's not an easy process. But I have mad props for the Blexit movement, because what Blexit is doing is going to be so much more harder than what #Lexit has to do. Because, like, for example, like if you look at Hispanics, right, they tend to go like 60% Democrat, 40% Republican. So it's a bit of an easier battle. It's still going to be very difficult and hard to win hearts and minds. But what Blexit is doing, like you have, where in the African American community, it's like 90% Democrat and 9% to 10% voting Republican. So I have mad respect for Blexit, but their battle is going to be so much harder than what we're trying to do. But I respect them for putting in the effort. Because one thing I've noticed a lot from people on the right is attacking Blexit and other movements. But my response is, well, like, what are you doing? You know, like, we're all in here fighting and doing our best, and rather than try to knock Blexit or knock Lexit, just respect it. They're trying to do something. And if you've got a better solution, then bring it to the table and get it done.
Yes. Yeah, especially me. I'm in California, so I see firsthand how the Democrat policies are destroying it over here. It's like all terrible. So I see. That's why I left too.
Wow, you know, it's crazy how we didn't even know. A lot of stuff that we learned as a child is because what our parents taught us, and we was taught. I was taught as a child, because I remember when I was younger, I drew a picture of Reagan, and my mother looked at me like, why would you draw a picture of a man that take money from the poor and give it to the rich? For real, he did that? I'm a little kid. I know better. Oh, forget Reagan then. And all of a sudden, I hear about the Reaganomics. I hear about all that Reagan. Okay, Reagan. So I'm walking around with Reagan deranged syndrome. Y'all get what I'm talking about. So you don't know. You did not do no research.
Yeah.
You know. Well, I mean, I know for me, you know, growing up in California, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. You know, going to elementary school, and if you ever asked about politics or something like that, they just said, "Oh, well, you know, you're Mexican, so you're a Democrat." And you know, you're a little kid. You don't think of asking why. You know, why are we that? You know, they say, "Oh, well, you know, the Republicans are they're for rich people and they're racist." You know, and being a little kid, you're going to believe the adults. You know, it takes it when you get a little older, get some wisdom, and actually start, you know, looking at things for yourself, that you realize that, wait a second, this isn't right. You know, these people that are supposed to be for us really aren't. You know, and we're being used. You know, keeping people down as far as keeping them dependent on them to stay in power. Because I know when I joined the Army in the year 2000. I left California, you know, I got stationed out in Kansas, and every time I came back to visit my family, my neighborhood just steadily got worse. Nothing ever got better at all. The streets got more crowded because more people were coming in. You know, the gangs got worse. Nothing got better. Nothing ever improved. And I looked at it and I said, okay, who keeps running this area? And it was always the Democrats, making the same promises over and over and over again, and people saying, "Oh, well, yeah, he's gonna do this for us." Well, isn't that what the last 6 people said? And things are still the same. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, you got to just really open your eyes and realize that the people that say they're for you really aren't. You know, they're in it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Trump so much, because Trump's the first politician I've seen that he does what he says he's going to do. Yep. That's why I like Trump so much.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, don't get me started on this. Y'all go ahead. Right now, y'all go ahead and rant. I'm just kind of like,
And something that David said, and it resonated with me too, my own experience, and that's why, like, honestly, what a lot of these elementary schools, what they are is indoctrination camps. Because when I grew up in Fifth Ward in Houston, like, I was in elementary, and like my teacher was telling me, Eddie, you're a Hispanic, you're gonna have to work 3 times as hard to get half as far. You know, basically trying to make me into a victim, and that the whole system is against me. And that as well is that you're a Latino, you have to vote Democrat. You know, just like what Jesse said. You know, Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. And so all this indoctrination, like, this happens in the schools. This happens from the institutions of control. And that's what, once I came to that realization, that we realized that we were actually being indoctrinated. And that's why we got to combat that indoctrination with facts and also sharing our stories as to why the Democratic Party, you know, has not are just showing like the communities we're living in. Look at them. Nothing has improved at all. It's always been the same, just like what David said. So just like what Donald Trump recently came out and said is, like, you know, basically take a chance, give a chance, you know, embrace conservatism and show what conservatism can do for you. I guarantee you it can do much more for you by liberating you than what the Democrats are doing by making you dependent.
You know what else that I notice is different? You see, like me and us, if there's a liberal or whatever and I disagree with them, so be it. I don't hate them, or I don't want to hurt them, or nothing, call them bad names or whatever. I just say, okay, I don't agree with you. They're so hateful towards us.
Yep. We better than that, you know? Respect people's thoughts, respect their mind, respect their opinions, and it's scary, because I've seen some crazy stuff in the past 2 weeks. How people just they're so offended about the most little stuff that don't even matter. They're starting to be offended about Rudolph and you don't talk about Charlie Brown because there's only one Negro in the bunch. I'm like, dig it.
How many Latinos are in there? None. We don't complain.
So y'all should be offended. Ain't no Latinos.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
They're ridiculous. It's because that's what they do. They just play race politics. That's what they do. They just try to play emotions and feelings like that.
Oh, you said emotions and feelings. I never thought of it that way, but they do try to play emotions and feelings. They like, oh, let's get feel it because I'm triggered. Let them be triggered too.
Yeah.
Well, think about that with emotions and feelings. When you make decisions based off emotions and feelings, you tend to make really horrible decisions.
Yeah.
And that's everybody triggered, get them all wild up and say things like, like that Trump is racist or the Republicans are racist or, like even with the tax plan. I mean, Nancy Pelosi saying it's going to be Armageddon. What's Armageddon about people getting $2,000 back, the child tax credit versus $1,000 from previous, times? What is Armageddon about that? And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's for the rich. It's for the top 1%. Okay, wait until you file your tax return. You just wait and you look at your return and then you sit there and tell me if that, if that tax plan, if those tax cuts were for the rich only. And then I think a lot of people are going to be stunned when they see how much money they get back.
That's what I always tell them. Just focus on that. Focus on the truth and facts. Focus on that instead of all the race politics. Racist here. Everything's racist. Like you said, can you believe that? Rudolph. They're trying to say Rudolph. I know
Rudolph got bullied. Oh, he got bullied. That promotes bullying. Like, oh my God. And why are white liberals all the freaking worst offended people? Because I'm telling you, black people don't vote. I'm telling you, I know this stuff. Black people don't vote. You can ask them. They don't understand. It's too much stuff going in there. They don't vote, and I just don't understand. Like, why you dumb down black people follow these white liberals? I'm just saying. I'm not race baiting, but it's the truth.
Well, so that's one of the. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, David.
I was gonna say, one thing that really bothered me that I for the life of me, I can't understand why people didn't jump on it more. When Hillary Clinton went on that show with Charlemagne the God and all of them, and she when they asked her, what's one thing you carry in your purse, and she busted out the hot sauce. Why didn't anybody get mad about that? How is that okay? And then she, I think it was Charlemagne asked her, oh, don't you think that's pandering to the black people? And she said with the cockiest look on her face, is it working? How did everybody just miss that? How did people not get angry about that and think that this lady is straight lying to us? She's going to say whatever she wants to say, just to get our votes. I mean, I know I did a poll on our Lexit group and I said, okay, hey guys, what hot sauce do you think Hillary's going to carry in her purse, if she runs again in 2020? It had Tabasco on there, Tapatio, Cholula, everything, and I meant it as a joke, but at the same time, it's like, realize these things. She's pandered to different communities in so many different ways, like getting Tim Kaine to be her, her VP running mate. That was straight pandering to the Latino community because she thinks we're stupid enough to think, oh, Tim Kaine speaks Spanish. It's the answer to all our prayers, and we're going to vote for you. No, that's not how it works. And people need to start paying attention to things like that because it's not right, Meanwhile, they're calling Trump racist when he's actually trying to do stuff for us, So I wish people would look at things like that a lot more and realize that we're being played.
Yeah, same stuff being played. Oh, they want to play I'm serious. They want to play us like a game of not chess, but they want to play like a game of checkers because they think we don't know nothing.
Yeah, exactly. They think we're stupid. They really do. They genuinely think we're stupid.
She said that all blacks look alike. They got caught on WikiLeaks. She was calling Mexicans taco bowls. She said super predators. Imagine if Trump did any of that. Ooh. All hell would be breaking loose. It would be like there'd be outrage, everything if Trump did that. But it's them, so nothing. It's just nothing. They don't even bring it up.
Well, that just shows the clear bias of the media because something that Trump says or does, which is not actually even racist, they'll twist it and turn it and make it racist. But then with something on the left that really is actually racist, or they're not going to even talk about it. So it shows you the double standard and the fact that the liberal media has a biased agenda, and they're going to keep pushing that agenda. And because I think something that the reason they're pushing it is because they know that if they can label someone a racist, then people are not going to even hear them out. And so that's what they're doing with Trump. Trump's not a racist. Trump's a patriot. And so he's trying to improve everybody's life and the quality of everybody's life. But the fact that see, they don't want Latinos and Black people to see the fact that, you know, under the Trump administration, all our communities have improved. So that's why they try to fight the progress that he's making by just trying to call him a racist. And that's what they're pushing.
Yeah, and it plays to our emotions.
Exactly.
You know, as soon as you tell somebody, you know, that they're racist, they're going to get scared and think, okay, well, like Joe Biden said, oh, he's going to put you back in your chains. You know, first off, I mean, why would you say that to anybody in the first place? Exactly. But, you know, that's all they're going to do. They're going to use their fear tactics to make us think that, you know, Republicans are going to take everything away from us. They're going to deport all the, you know, all the Hispanics, and, you know, that Black people are going to get put back into slavery. And it's ridiculous. And people have to stop falling for it. You know, when Trump gives a speech, this is one thing I want to encourage everybody to do if they don't do it already. Listen to that speech before the pundits put their twist on it. Hear it for yourself. You decide what it means, and then you can listen to what they're going to say about it, and then you're going to see right there the bias. Because I know I used to watch CNN all the time, and then as a truck driver, you know, I listened to Sirius XM, and I used to listen to CNN all day long. Now, I would see him give a speech, and I would see how every pundit started twisting it and saying he meant this instead of this. And as you go throughout the whole broadcast, every single you know, anchor was twisting it even more. By the time you got to the end of the night, to the end of the broadcast, it had been twisted so much that it's like I started thinking, damn, did he say what I thought he said? Because they're so good at it. Manipulation. You know, hear the stuff for yourself before you go and judge. And another thing, don't listen to gossip, especially the people you know are not informed whatsoever. You know, or the way I like to call it, you know, the chismosa down the street that just gossips and says, oh, well, I heard, you know, on Telemundo that, you know, Trump's going to start deporting all the Mexicans to different countries. I heard that rumor, and I was like, why would you believe that? That is so dumb. You know, a little common sense has to come into play, but, you know, people need to hear it from the horse's mouth. If you don't hear it from the horse's mouth, don't believe that it's necessarily true. Yes. You know, do some research.
Research, everybody, research. You ever heard the word research? Have you ever taught you the word research when you in school? Research, you look at, teacher be like, did you do some research? Yes, I found it. So what's the answer? I found it. These people don't do research. Look, it's like copying off of somebody's paper in class. Mm-hmm. You copy it off somebody. I give you the answer. They write it down. You take the person's word for it. Don't take my word for it. I tell people, don't take my damn word for it. You know what I'm saying? Do some research.
Mm-hmm. And one thing too, if you want to take advice from a certain person because you know they're probably the dumbest person in your circle of friends, why would you take political advice from them? Because I know the ones that are usually the loudest are the ones that are probably a little bit, you know, that are probably the dumbest of the group, but they're the loudest. I'm not going to listen to them, you know, just like I don't listen to celebrities telling me what to do when it comes to politics. No, mm-hmm. I'm going to go find out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, for yourself.
And that's what we're trying to do with hashtag Lexit is we're about do your own research, discover things for yourself. We're not here to give you all the answers. We're here to tell you, like, research for yourself, find and discover the truth. You know, we're not going to give you a package and say here it is. So, but we're trying to create, or what we're trying to foster free thinkers for people to think independently for themselves.
Yeah, and us in the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, we might start our own shows pretty soon. So anybody watching, you could come and check out our live stream shows too. Give us a little shout out for ourselves right there.
Yeah.
Jesse just straight plugging.
Straight plugging. It's so good. You know what? That brings a breath of fresh air to me when I see people that's woken up. There's people just ready to die for the cause. Die for the cause, because this is not easy what we doing. Yo, y'all know, y'all can relate to me. This is not easy what we doing. Y'all Latinos, man. Come on now. Y'all will get ridiculed more from the Latino side than the white side. I get ridiculed, you know what I'm saying, more than the from the black side than the white side. I know some gays for Trump that's ridiculed by gays. I'm just saying they want to act like we some homophobes and we ain't. That's y'all business. Y'all roll with us. Y'all roll with us, and we don't care.
That's what I was saying earlier. See, we don't care if somebody's a Democrat or something. I don't care at all, one bit. But you see how they are? See how they are to us? That's wrong. How they be like that? Why can't we just disagree? Why does it have to be like that?
Yes.
Basically, don't be a crab in a barrel. If somebody's trying to escape that and do better for themselves, you should be supporting them. Don't try to pull them back down to your level. If we all kept thinking the same in lockstep, nothing would ever change. We'd probably still be caveman, held up in a cave because everybody would have been too scared to go out because, oh no, well, he said there's a monster out there, so let's just stay in here and die. Someone's got to be the first person to take the step forward and do something different. If they fail, they fail, but they got to try.
But look at us right here, guys. We're the left's worst nightmare. Look at Latinos and black talking. That's their worst nightmare right there, is us right here.
Yes. They don't like that. They don't like that. They want segregation. They want to promote segregation. They want to promote hate because I'm telling you, these people are godless. They're godless. They're heartless. They're not loving. It's like wow. I said, God, you could tell that. Ooh, because I would have never thought of this about 20 years ago, what was going to happen right now. I never prepared for this, but I'm glad I'm here because I was prepared for it, even though I didn't prepare for it. We was prepared for it, but even though because it's a plan right here for us.
The left push, or I should say the left in the media, they push the whole racism thing where they make it seem like to somebody that's sitting at home and just, views the world through their television screen, they probably think that anywhere you go, there's just so many racist people out there, that wherever you go, someone's going to be trying to get you. Well, I'll put it this way. I drive a truck. I go to all the states, okay? I go through the south side of Chicago. I go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I go to the places, where nobody's ever heard of, where they just assume that's probably where all the racist people are, all right? During the summer, I'm really dark, okay? I get tanned real good. Now, I go to places where there's not another person that looks like me for, probably a good 600 miles. And I'll tell you what, these people are nice people. They're friendly. I've had somebody that saw me going down a road that I was going to get stuck, with my truck, and someone was going to actually have to come out and tow me out. Well, this white man that I've never met in my entire life ran and sprinted out of his house to stop me and say, hey, if you keep going, you're going to get stuck up there, and I don't want to see that happen. Now, this is like in the middle of the backwoods, and I think this was in like North Carolina. Why would a white man do that if everybody's just so racist? And then what did he do? I told him, I'm going to go forward and I'll find a spot to turn around. He said, no, don't worry about it. You could turn around in my front yard. This man had a beautiful, well-manicured, lawn. I mean, it was gorgeous. It looked like a golf course. He let me turn my truck around in his yard, tear it all up, just because he cared enough to not see somebody, regardless of skin color, get stuck. Now, if that doesn't tell you that there's not a bunch of racist people out there, I don't know what does. I mean, the media is going to push it. It's going to make it be fearful, where it's also going to make us not talk to each other. And that's not a good thing.
Ooh, it sure ain't a good thing. Oh, y'all go ahead, because I get flagged what I'm about to say right now. Go ahead.
I just tripped out. Why is it, see how they're focused so much on race, everything? There's racists in all races, I'll say. You know what I mean? In all race, there's races like I'm Mexican, and I know, because I know everybody Mexican knows he has a tío that's racist, that doesn't like, that talks even Asians, like if I get arrested in China, they're probably going to be being racist to me over there. I don't want to get arrested in no other country because there's racists and all. But if you notice, when I was young, I never used to hear about race, really things. Yeah, there was here, whatever, but it was nothing like this. All of a sudden, since Trump's been in race, that's it. Because they have really not many stuff to attack him on. So that's what I told people at the beginning. I go, see, they really don't have stuff to attack Trump on that much. So that's why they're using race. They're using that. That's their strategy against him is race. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, they got to use race because their policies suck. Plain and simple.
They don't want
and
to.
They could be making the same promises over and over again, but they haven't worked, because if they did, we should all be out of poverty. Chicago should be like the liberal utopia where everybody is just living happy and free and has everything right there in the palm of their hands. But in reality, that's not what it is. Their policies have kept people down. They've made people poorer than they already were, and then they make you thank them for it by voting for them again.
Don't get me started about the so-called Chirac, Rahm Emanuel. The only Democrat I respected in Chicago was Jane Byrne. That's the only one I ever respected. But I don't respect none of these Democrats. I'm sorry, I don't even respect Harold Washington, even though he's the first black mayor. That's just my little take on that. I'm gonna leave that alone.
We know what two people should realize as well. Just because somebody has the same skin color as you doesn't mean that they have the best intentions for you.
Right.
Period.
Exactly. And we see that on both in the Hispanic and Latino communities. Al Sharpton does not have the best interest of the African American community in mind. He only has his interest in mind. And so you got to come to that realization. Just exactly what David said. Just because people are the same color as you doesn't mean that they actually even care about you. So that's why you got to look at the policies. Are they helping or are they hurting your communities? And if they're hurting them, they ain't in there for us. They ain't helping us.
That's a good point, Eddie. That's a good one.
Wow. We got knowledge over here. We got common sense over here. Dear liberals, dear leftists that get offended by everything, y'all need to learn common sense. It's not about free college. Bernie, you need to be shaming yourself, Mr. Sanders.
Yeah, you shouldn't vote on skin color or race. You should vote on jobs. You know what I mean? The economy, trade deals, security for our nation. You should vote on your values. That's what we always say. Vote your conscience. Vote your values.
Yep. Values. And I love this movie. Look, when I read this today, it said Lexit is a grassroots to help Latinos exit the liberal left and embrace conservatism and conservative values. Lexit is focused on building an outreach effort in community across America. I'm telling y'all bring me a breath of fresh air. You dig?
Yeah, what we envision for #Lexit is we're going to be in communities all across America. And the way we want to build this is the grassroots effort. People in the communities talking to fellow members of the community, because that's the best way to reach people. But also we'll be utilizing social media to reach people. But this movement is really growing drastically. Like, I think we started the page a few weeks ago, and like we're already at like 14,000 followers and about 13,000 likes. And so what we've projected out, if we continue at the rate at which we're growing, we're gonna have like over 200,000 likes within a year.
Man, I don't have 1 million during this year, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, and
I know. Man, y'all don't have 1 million. Yeah, look.
We were being extremely conservative, but I agree. Conservatively, it's 200,000, but most likely, yeah, you're gonna be right. We're gonna be at about 1 million, and then we're gonna bring all that together to amplify the message and push out as to why conservatism is more in line with the Latino community, and hopefully we can work with other organizations and build a big umbrella. Because what we really need to work on building on is that all the conservative commentators need to come together, and we got to stand together for 2020. So there's a lot of like factions and groups, and what we want to build is a big umbrella for everybody to start working together for 2020 and focus our message on that, focus our mission on that, and building up for that. Like, we got to stand united, because you know it says in the Bible, a house divided will never stand. And so we can disagree on policy issues all day long, but when it comes to the battle of winning hearts and minds, we got to stand together. Because if we're not going to stand united before 2020, there's no way we're going to win. The Bible says a house divided will never stand.
That's the word of God right there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying too. We need to stay united. We're trying to unite all the Latinos.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand how not only other Latinos, but conservatives, when they're trying to bash other we're on the same team.
I'm
like
guilty.
we need to focus on the other enemy. We shouldn't be attacking each other. We shouldn't be fighting with each other. Even if we have certain little disagreements, we should be able to talk without, you know what I mean? That we shouldn't be bashing each other. But that's what we want to do. We want to unite all the Latinos, all the organizations.
Now, there's a difference between attacking and critiquing. And so, like, if you've got an intelligent argument as to why someone on the conservative side's message is not right or something they're doing is not right, then by all means, critique it. But there's a difference between critiquing someone and attacking them on a personal level. So what the left does is they attack you on a personal level. And so conservatives, we're better than that. So we're better than that. And so that's what we got to be, that's what we have to be mindful of. There's a difference between critiquing. There's a difference between attacking. What they're doing to Donald Trump, that's attacking. They're calling him a racist. That's attacking. It's not constructive. It's not helpful, and it's not even articulate argument or point. And so for conservatives, yeah, by all means, if you're going to critique someone on the right because they're kind of slipping up, by all means, critique them. But now attacking them personally, that's when I think we're better than that.
Conviction. Well, it's the truth, yo. Whoa. It gets no realer than this, y'all. Next.
Because then to the left and the fake media and all of them, they love that. They love seeing us going after each other and all that. That's like they're having candy right there. They're just totally loving it. That's why even if we do have differences, they should just message each other, call each other, and then air out your differences like that instead of putting it all out there, giving the left fuel.
Go ahead.
And then you know what? I wanted to say this. I mean, Lexit, yeah, our focus is, you know, the Hispanic community, but you don't have to be Hispanic to be a part of us. You don't. Everybody's welcome. Because I'll tell you one thing that I've learned is there's not a Lexit and a Blexit for everybody out there. There's not going to be something for people that are Polish or maybe there will be in the future, but right now there's not, or people that, are some other ethnicity. So to us, it doesn't matter what you are, we don't care about that. Yes, our message is focused to the Latino community because we think we're the ones that can accomplish this mission better. But if you're somebody that's conservative or you're thinking about becoming a conservative and you want to get more information, and you want to come and see what we're all about, by all means come. We're welcoming to everybody. It doesn't matter what you are, if you're Asian, if you're black, if you're white, it doesn't matter at all. We're not going to be mean to you. We're going to welcome you with open arms and try to show you why we are conservative and why you should, consider being conservative yourself. And show you our values, our morals. And if they align with how you feel and what you want to be, then, then stay with us, be a part of us. Maybe it'll open your eyes to conservatism, and then you'll start looking at all the other stuff that's out there. Then maybe you'll look at the Republican Party more. You'll start learning even more, by doing your own research on top of it. But if you just need something to help get your foot in the door, by all means, come check us out, see what we're about,
Yes. And you know what? I don't care. Nobody say I don't force religion on nobody, but I believe that God wants God in this country. God wants Christ in this country, and that's the way I feel on this. He want. I'm not gonna say this. Values, and morals and principles up in here. And want faith, because this next generation, their faith is dead because they don't have no works. Faith is dead without work.
And so that's what we said. For all of us here at Lexit, like we're all, the three co-founders are all religious. Like we all have our religious convictions. And so that's something also with like the Latino community. The Latino community are by and large religious and conservative in their values. And so that's one of the things that we're sharing with them is that, hey, most of you are either Christian or Catholic. And like a lot of the things that the Democratic Party is doing, it doesn't line up with their values. For example, like abortion, things like that doesn't line up with Latino values. And so that's part of what we're doing is sharing with them information, because I don't think a lot of Latinos are aware of the actual policies of the Democratic Party. They're just told basically, or they're just basically told that if you're Latino, you're Democrat. But if you were to actually sit down, and that's what we're going to do, is we're going to sit down and go through all the policy points of the Democratic Party. It does not line up with the values of with most Americans, but in particular Latino community. So that's what we're about is providing information so that whoever they are can make an informed decision.
Woo! Come on now, let's get real. Tell her how we really feel.
Yeah.
I also want to say that that we want the wall. Like they try to make it that the media tries to be like that all Latinos are for open borders and all that, and we want the wall, and we want to secure the border. We want legal immigration.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something that that's what we're pushing back hard on #Lexit. We want to build the wall because a nation doesn't have its sovereignty if it doesn't control its borders, and so that's why the United States. That's why why #Lexit is going to be so effective is because we destroy the narrative of the left. If you're Latino, then you support open borders. No, actually a lot of Latinos support strong borders because it's basic economics. You know, if you flood the country with mass illegal immigration, you know, basic economics, you unbalance the supply and demand of labor. And so if you have a surplus of labor, you're going to reduce the price that you're going to reduce what the market would pay for labor. And so, like for Latinos, the reason why we support strong borders is because one, to protect Americans here and protect American jobs here in America, and two, because we don't want unfettered immigration without people being vetted. So that's something that we're really pushing on and harping on is that Latinos in Lexit, we support lawful, legal immigration.
Yes.
And so that's why we've got to build the wall. We've got to build the wall to shut down.
You're hearing it from Latinos. Yes. You ain't hearing it from white people. You hearing it from Latinos. Even Latinos are saying build a wall.
Build the wall.
That's what I'm saying. Hell yeah. They always try to say, "Oh yeah, the Trump's against immigrants," and I'm like, "No, he's against illegals, not immigrants." You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between an immigrant and an illegal. There's a difference.
The word said, "Obey the law of the land." You got to obey the law of the land. You got to do that.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? There's another thing that I'm getting tired of people saying all the time. Whenever you refer to illegal, they instantly just think, you know, Mexicans. Okay, let's be real. There's illegal Africans from Africa. There's illegal Vietnamese people. There's illegal Chinese people. Illegal is illegal. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. I mean, yeah, it just so happens that we border a poor country where people use that as their entryway to get in here. But one thing that people should look at is if we're just letting anybody come from Mexico, which it's not necessarily just Mexico anymore. It's, you know, further south, Guatemala, Honduras, everything. Mm-hmm. Now, when those people flood your neighborhood, because whose neighborhood are they going to go into? They're not going to go into Elizabeth Warren's neighborhood. They're not going to live in Nancy Pelosi's neighborhood. No, they're going to live in our neighborhood. Okay. Now, their kids are going to be going to school with our kids. These parents are probably not, you know, paying into the system. So our kids are getting, you know, worse education because now the school's crowded. I know for me growing up in California, when I started elementary school, we had probably about, you know, maybe 25 kids per class. By the time I was done in 5th grade, we had nearly 40 kids per class. Now, that's one teacher with all those kids. And then because those kids didn't speak English, the teacher had to focus more attention to them because they didn't speak the language. So what did that do to all the other kids? You know, they didn't get any attention from the teacher because she was so, you know, he or she was so focused on the students that didn't speak English. You know, you got to look at all those things. Those things affect the black and brown community more than anybody. And this is one thing that kind of blows my mind is when it comes to the black community, when I see people that are advocating for letting the people in the caravan in, do you not realize that those people are going to come to your neighborhood and they're going to make things harder for you. They're going to make things harder for you to get a job because those people are willing to work for less. Now, it's going to just hurt you even more. They're probably going to end up taking a job that your mom or dad have, or maybe you have, because they'll do it at a cheaper price. So you're hurting yourself, and it doesn't make any sense. And they also know that now that more black people are waking up and finding out the truth, they need to bring in new voters. Now, they know they're losing us, so what are they going to do? They're going to bring them in from the South. So it's like you're helping your own demise by just saying, oh yeah, let these people in. It's yeah, we're good people. We care about the world, but we got to take care of this country before we take care of everybody else.
You better say it, Latino.
So it's exactly it. It's America first. That's basically our message. America first. We got to take care of our people in our communities first. And so exactly what David said. If we don't stop the mass immigration now, you're basically going to have, or there's going to be mass immigration to the United States. Where are they going to come? They're going to come to our communities. And as you can see, a lot of the inner city communities are strapped for cash as it is now to pay for resources, for hospitals, for schools. And so if a community gets a huge influx of illegal immigrants that may or may not be paying more into the system than what they're taking, that's going to put our communities at a disadvantage. And so it's just basic common sense. We got to look out for our communities and look out for the American people first. And so that means building the wall.
Look at Baltimore, for example. Mm-hmm. Look at Baltimore. They have schools out there that don't have any heat, and now it's wintertime again, right? I don't know if they fixed it, but I'm looking at what happened, last winter. You got schools with no heat. You got kids in there with big jackets having to go on there to try to learn. But what is Baltimore doing? They're spending money to help people that are facing deportation, and nobody's mad about that. People in Baltimore, wake up. They're going to use your tax money to take care of people that shouldn't be here. Meanwhile, your kids are going to schools that don't have any heat. Come on. It's not that hard to figure out.
Right.
But meanwhile, the Democrats are telling you, oh, well, you're a horrible person if you get mad at this. No. You gotta realize that they're hurting you. It's common sense. I mean, I don't understand why people struggle so much with it. I mean, I know a lot of us have been indoctrinated pretty deeply, but, there should be some self-preservation in you, too, of thinking, well, damn, man, we're really hurting over here. Why are we going to do all this for these other people? Right. And when we say America first, a lot of people think, oh, if you say America first, they mean just white people. No, everybody, whatever color skin you are, whatever ethnicity, whatever race, it doesn't matter. If you're an American, America first applies to you. Start seeing yourself as an American and not everything else that the left likes to label you with. Get rid of those labels. Be an American and be proud of it. Be proud to wave your flag because you know what? It's your flag too.
Mm-hmm. Take care.
Sorry, man. I know I'm preaching and ranting a little bit.
Keep on preaching, my brother. We gotta take care of home first. Hold on, let me get the camera back on. My bad. We gotta take care of our home first.
Exactly.
I cut my camera off and let y'all talk. But take care of home first. Get your own house in order. I mean, like I tell preachers, if you're gonna be a pastor in your own house before you be a pastor to these people out. They got other issues. I'm just saying, you want to be a teacher, a school teacher? Won't you be a school teacher if you got your own children? Teach your own children I'm not trying to cuss, but treat your own children in your darn house.
Mm-hmm. And don't let you guys have talked about the victim mentality and stuff like that. Nobody is more responsible for what you do in your life, but you. When you wake up in the morning and you go brush your teeth and you look in the mirror, you're looking at the person that's in control of what you're going to do with yourself, the decisions you make. Don't let the Democrats tell you that, you're not going to succeed in life because of your skin color. Yes. If you want to succeed in life, you can do it. Stop letting them already have you caged mentally, thinking that you're already failing before you've even started. I was a high school dropout. Right? I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger. But what did I do? I took it upon myself, got my GED, and then I joined the Army. And I made something of myself. People that were telling me, oh, you're never going to be anything. You're going to be just like us, the crabs in the barrel. You know, they tried to stop me. I didn't let them stop me. And now look at me. Look at me now. You know, I'm a commercial truck driver. I make good money. I'm also a veteran. I've done things with myself. Why? Because I didn't listen to people that told me I couldn't, or said, oh, you can't do this because your skin color, or the white man's going to hold you down. You know what? Nobody held me down. I'm in control of my life. Don't let nobody hold you down, and don't let anybody tell you somebody's holding you back, because you hold you back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amen to that. And just like David was saying, I had the exact same experience. The liberal left from coming from my elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. They try to indoctrinate me that I'm a victim, I'm this, I'm that. And I just like David, I joined the army. Between David and I, we have 16 years of service. David served 8 years in the army. I served 8 years in the army. I just took it upon myself to do whatever I needed to do to succeed. And now we're accomplishing things, but it's because we weren't dependent on the government because to give us anything. We took it upon ourselves and we succeeded for ourselves. And now for me, like I'm in my last few weeks of law school. I'll be graduating this month. So coming from Fifth Ward, one of the poorest neighborhoods in Houston, working my way up, serving 8 years in the Army, then going to graduating from college, and then now going to one of the top law schools in America, and I'll be graduating this month. I've done that just by pulling myself up with my bootstraps and by not listening to the naysayers, doing what I got to do to succeed. And that's what hashtag Lexit is all about, is just sharing our message that I've done it, you can do it, you can free yourself from the liberal plantation if you're willing to free your mind.
Oh, yes. I'm going to tell you this, y'all. Hold on. Mm-hmm. We can carry back on. People that subscribe to my channel, they know my story, that I'm not ashamed of my age. I am 46 years old. Mm-hmm. And I'm a former gang member. Look at this, Gangster Disciples right here. I'm a former, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I still talk to active gang members. I actually had an interview a Latin Eagle from Chicago, me and him like this. He left the gang 2 years ago. He in his 30s. Actually, he's going to help me with prison reform, because this is God is using me for. But I'm not ashamed to tell people I'm a former gang member. I used to gang bang. If I see, I'm going to knock you out. But God have redeemed me. I'm telling you. People ask me, do you regret things where you was at? I said, no, because God allowed me to be here to help people. So this movement, they want to talk about this white supremacy? Oh, no. We are very diverse. Come on now. We got the Lexit, we got Blexit, and we got walk away, hashtag walk away. Come on now. We got keep America great, make America great. We are all over the place. This is not political, y'all. I'm going to let you take away before I finish this. This is not political. This is a movement. Next. Mic's off. My mic off. Go ahead. Take it away, y'all. I'm done ranting. Because y'all know I get the rant. I get the yelling. And I'm done ranting. I'll do it tomorrow morning in my car for 10 minutes. See y'all. Go ahead, go. Take it away.
So yeah, that's exactly it. And hashtag Lexit. We're about a movement. We're about a movement of just red pilling people and just telling them, be a free thinker, be independent, think for yourself, and stop being dependent on the government. Or stop thinking that the government somehow is going to save you, because the government isn't going to save you. The most the Democrats can do for you is very minimum. The only thing they can do is keep you dependent on them. And what we're about is making you a free and independent person. And that's why I think hashtag Lexit is so powerful. And we're going to just keep sharing our message throughout America. We're going to build a grassroots movement. And if anybody wants to get involved in our movement, please reach out to us. And we're looking for anybody who wants to get involved and wants to join us as we build this movement. And another thing I'm going to say, because we've got some heat we've got some pushback from the right, saying that we were identity politics. And people who have been trying to classify Blexit and Lexit as identity politics hasn't even bothered to look up the definition, because clearly the definition of identity politics is when a party tries to get people to vote as one group based on their identity. That is the definition of identity politics. What we're trying to do at hashtag Lexit and what Lexit is doing in other movement is the complete opposite of identity politics, because they're saying you don't have to vote Democrat just because you're black or Hispanic. So it's the exact opposite. People who are saying that don't even understand the definition of the words they're using, because it's the opposite of identity politics. We're telling people don't vote Democrat just because you're a Democrat. Vote your beliefs and your values. Now, if that puts you on the left or the right, whatever, but vote based off your beliefs, not because of your skin color. And so I wanted to be clear to push back on that, because people using that, they obviously haven't even looked up the word.
I just want to tell everybody to just follow us on Facebook, or we have LexitMovement.com, or on Twitter, or you can even join our Lexit group here on Facebook.
And look, I just joined y'all. I'm part of Lexit. I don't care. I'm light skinned, so let me be part of y'all.
And so that's also what we want to do, is because we want to be that big umbrella to bring everybody together. So just like if you join us and work with us, we're going to do our best to amplify your message, because people need to hear you, Mo. People need to hear people like you, because it was people like you, Mo, that helped me to lead the Democratic Party. Because I don't know if you know my bio, but I was deep in with the Democrats. First, I was a Obama White House intern. So I don't know if you knew that, Mo. So yeah, I was an Obama White House intern, and I served on the Senate Budget Committee for, of all people, Bernie Sanders. So I was as left as you could possibly get.
Oh, you were Bernie? That's the lip logic right there. That's the this order right there. The Bernie. Ooh,
yeah.
Don't so my
I hear you, but. So that's why that's how I freed myself, because I realized I stopped looking at the rhetoric of the left. So my point I'm trying to make is that if someone like me could be red pilled, like freaking working for Bernie, anybody can be red pilled. They just need
the burn.
They just need the proper information. And so that it was people like you, Mo. I was watching YouTube videos, and I was hearing information that didn't fit with my worldview. And so that's when I started doing my research. It was a lot of just independent YouTube pundits who I was listening to them and getting a different perspective on things. And so I started doing my research, and I just realized that, wow, what I personally think is that I think that I'm going to give you my personal opinion. I think that the Democratic Party, I don't really believe that they're evil and diabolical and hell bent on world. Yeah, you may, but the people. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what I experienced. I believe that the people that at least I worked with, I feel they have good intentions, but the results of their intentions are bad. So there's an old saying. It says, how does it go? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so that's what I realized. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
You know what? Maybe you're right. You may be right. I can't argue with truth.
Yeah. So what I think is that they had good intentions, but the effects of their policies are hurting our communities. And that's why when I came to that realization, I rejected them. Because no matter what your good fuzzy intentions are, if the result of your policies, the results of Bernie's policies and Obama's policies are actually detrimental, if they're hurting our communities, I don't care what your intentions are. I look at the effects.
Amen.
And so that's why I left the Democrats. That's why I reject the policies of the left, because for whatever their intent was, the results are bad. They're hurting our communities. Like for example, even if you take the African American community in perspective, before 1960, the average African American household was strong and vibrant. And after 1960s, with all these liberal policies, like it has harmed the African American community down to the family unit. And so that's why you see, like even if you look at abortions, since abortions has been legalized after Roe v. Wade, like 70% of all abortions are from African American. So you look, and to me, honestly, I give you my honest opinion. Like, abortion is one of the most detrimental things to the African American community. If you just do if you just if you do the statistics, do you know today the African American community will be double the population that it is? Double.
Come on now. I knew this. Ooh,
double.
I knew this.
And if that's not power, I don't know what is. So, like, can you imagine double the political power that the African American community would have in America if they were double what they were today? And so that's why I ignore the rhetoric. Look at the facts. Look at the results of the policies. They're bad, and they're hurting our communities.
Well, I mean, I have a different perspective. I'm probably more in line with you, Mo. Yeah. I mean, I look at some of the things that the Democrats have done, and I do think, for the most part, a lot of them are evil. Maybe not all of them, but some of them are. You know, when I started doing my research about people like Margaret Sanger, and I look how they praise her as a liberal hero, and I look what her intentions were when she started Planned Parenthood. You know, the Negro Project, basically exterminating the black race. I don't understand how people can look at not look at that and think for a second that that they're bad people. You're basically you're being a cheerleader for people that are destroying you, and that never made any sense to me. I mean, granted, when it comes to Latinos, just because of most of us being Catholic, abortion is just not one of those things that we do. But the way they've gotten people in the black community to take it so lightly that you're just throwing a life away, you're destroying yourself. It's horrible. The way that when they pushed all the crime bill and started locking up so many people that were black and brown, it destroyed the family. And as soon as the family got destroyed, and then there's nothing wrong nothing against single mothers, but you need two parents, even if they're not in the same household. That child needs both the mother and father. And a lot of kids were growing up without one of them, and they needed that influence. And I think back to when my mom was working for the welfare office in California, and she would tell me stories about when she was coming to do a check, and how you would see men running out the back, trying to get out of there, or ended up just not coming back anymore, where the father just got pushed out because now Uncle Sam's daddy, and the women said, well, I don't need him because Uncle Sam's taking care of me. The government's taking care of me. And the whole family got broken down. And once that happened, we started losing more morals and values, where now people just don't care about anything. I mean, if you look at culture in black and brown communities, it's who's the baddest now. Who's the one that's the more more of a thug? Who's the gangsterest one out there? Those are what replaced traditional values, and that's why it's just destroyed our families. We got to get back to the way it was before, when we had strong families, mother and father, grandparents. That strong network, it produced good people. And now that we don't have that, it's having a bad effect. We're having kids that are just growing up where their morals and values, or the people they look up to, are people that that are not role models. I don't want to throw any names out for rappers or anything like that, because I still listen to rap music, but that shouldn't be your role model. You should be looking at somebody that's doing good things. So
you need a father in the household. I think that's what it comes back to. You have to have a father in the household. It takes a man to raise a boy to a man. There's just, and I mean, even Kanye, I think he mentioned something about that. Like, you've got to have that male figure in the household to help raise our young boys and to make them men. And so that's one of the, like what you said, that's the detrimental policies of the left, is that they're trying to, whether they realize it or not, they're advancing policies that are pushing the father out of the household. And so when we see that we see the kids are getting into trouble, getting into fights, causing problems in school, is because you don't have the father in the household. Yep. And it goes back to the policies that you've been pushing that have been hurting our communities. And that's why we've got to fight back on the liberal left and the policies that they're advancing that are hurting our communities, whether they have good intentions or not, whether they're evil or good. To me, none of that really matters. What matters is their policies are bad, and we've got to fight them.
Yeah, and then, I mean, like, especially for people in Chicago, I mean, I really pay attention to what goes on there, especially because I drive through there a lot. you know, I see a lot of places that used to be, real lively, you know, on the south side where you see abandoned buildings or, you know, that used to be manufacturing plants that are gone now.
No.
To the people down there, you know, when Trump said, you know, try voting for me, what do you got to lose? Think about it. If you have been voting for Democrats your whole life and you're still living in the same hood, the conditions are worse, they haven't gotten any better, your schools are failing, you know, your neighborhood's got so bad, even the cops don't want to go in there anymore. But you keep doing the same thing. You keep voting for the same kind of people with the same kind of ideas, with the same, you know, failed promises and things like that. Why would you do that? I mean, it's like you're running into the wall every time, and you still think that you should keep running into that wall, you know, at a running pace. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
If these people haven't been doing anything for you, you should try something different. You know, even if it's a little controversial, maybe it's a little scary to, you know, to try voting for the other side. But if the side you've been voting in lockstep with your whole life hasn't made your life any better, why would you keep voting for them? Why? It doesn't matter what color they are. You know, you can put a black Democrat in front of me, a white Democrat. It doesn't matter. If their ideas and, you know, and policies are going to be the same thing, it doesn't matter what skin color they are. You know, vote for someone that's actually going to put or instill some values and morals again in your community. Someone that's going to have good policies that are going to change your life. Now, granted, don't look at the government to change your life, you know, tremendously, because that's on you. But you want to vote for somebody that's going to put the right policies so you have those opportunities to make your life better. You know, if you give people opportunities, I don't care what skin color they are or where they're from, if they have all those opportunities for the, you know, right there in front of them and they take them, they're going to amount to something. But if you don't have any opportunities, you end up with the way things are in the inner cities, you know, Chicago, Baltimore, you know.
Y'all, we run out of time.
All right.
We are running out of time. All right. You know, before we run out of time, hey, y'all go ahead and rant. Hey, what y'all got to say? The last words y'all got to say, all three of y'all.
Well, all I would say, well, first, Mo, thank you for having us on the show. We really appreciate it. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our message about hashtag Lexit and the movement that has just started. We haven't been going but a few weeks now, but we're really starting to gear up for 2020. If anybody wants, I'm going to get you your hat. I'm going to get you a hat. So we're gearing up for 2020. So if anybody wants to join us and get in the fight, whether you're Black, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. We're all coming together to win back our communities, to win them back and to make them and to advance conservative values. So if you want to help us out in any capacity, just reach us at our Facebook page at hashtag Lexit, or shoot us an email at Lexit, Lexit movement @gmail.com, and we'd be happy to take whatever skills you got and plug you in somewhere.
All right. That's what's up, y'all.
Thanks a lot, Mo. We had fun.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks for having us, Mo. Sorry I was late, you know, but
it's okay.
I got to work.
Hey, got to make that bread. If you don't work, you don't eat. All right.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say something to y'all in a minute. All right. Thank you, everybody. Much love for y'all. Remember, keep America great. Y'all stay on.